Hello, I'm Bill Gates, chairman of Microsoft. In this video,
you're going to learn how to make coins in NHL 20 just like
I'm Bill Gates.
Because let's be real, just from playing the game, you're not going to make a whole lot of coins because your best rewards probably look something like this. But instead of Division 10, it'll be like Division 4, Division 3, Division 2. Chances are if you get into Division 1, you probably make coins other ways. And before we begin, I want to go over your side hustles. It's not the main topic of the video, but you can make coins by playing squad battles. Even just playing one game will get you a pack which could have anything. If you do well, you'll get a ton of packs, which could have a Pavel Datsyuk, just like my top 20 squad battles rewards video. Hut challenges are a great way to get coins because all they have are coins as rewards. And the limited time events will have untradeable packs so far anyway. Whenever there's competitive seasons out or Hut Champions, make sure to do those. Again, play the minimum number of games, which in this case is going to be 3. No matter what rank you are, you'll get packs. You can sell whatever's in those packs to get coins. If you do get cards from these packs, don't ever quick sell them because you can sell them for much more on the auction house. You can do your objectives and your milestones. For getting to the bottom of the milestones list, you can get 10k coins in addition to everything above it, so that's pretty nice. You could spend money on packs and then sell the cards that you get in those packs, but we here on Brianstormed's channel aren't about that life. That's why we're going to buy one with coins, because you never know what you can get. Oh wow, this pack has 2 guaranteed NHL players, and wait, there they are. Guess that means I'm not going to get anything good back here. Oh look, another NHL player, and then another one. I got twice the number of NHL players that pack. Must be worth it. Thanks, EA. And now for the feature presentation, the auction house. So many people play the auction house and make coins this way. These are just a few of the cards that I sold. Actually, it's all the cards that I sold. Once I select all time, of course. I ended up making 100k between the time the Ultimate Edition came out and the release day, because I scooped up cards and I sold them for this value. I wouldn't use this as price guides anymore because these cards have plummeted since then. Either way, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I got these cards and offer my tips and tricks so that you can make coins yourself. The main way that people make coins on the auction house is they stock the 1 hour mark. The reason for that is because when people sell cards, especially people who don't really know the price of cards or they're new to the game, they just throw it up on the auction house. They don't care how long they throw it up for. It's usually the 1 hour mark. That is where the auction house has the most activity. There's going to be cards flying left and right, and it's really hard to keep up sometimes. Without filtering out cards like I'm doing here, it's going to take you forever to get to the 1 hour mark. Now that I put on certain settings, such as I'm looking for cards under 10k, I'm looking for gold cards between 83 and 99 overall, I can get there much easier. We have no interest in seeing every possible card out there. Right now I only have 44k coins. Why would I need to see any cards that go for more than that? On the flip side, we don't need bronze and silver cards. There aren't a whole lot of bronze silver cards going for around 10k. And it's not just about getting there easier, because now you have less cards to look at. The pages aren't gonna move as fast. So the way that I make coins is I focus on a range of cards. I don't look at cards that go for my entire coin stash, because I'm gonna buy a card and then I'm just going to sit there and not do anything until that card sells. That card could plummet in price and I could lose out on a lot of money. So let's say it's about a quarter of my stash. I have 44k. I'm going to look at cards around 10k. And I'm going to memorize the prices of these cards. I use the compare price function to make sure that these cards are within my range. So you see John Gibson, he's going for 10k. Well, if I go to compare price, he was actually going for 5k. So that's not a card I ever really want to see again in this range. A PK Subban, let's check his price. Yeah, he's going for about 13k. So if I end up seeing one for about 10k, I know that I should be buying him. You don't even have to memorize cards either. You can just write them down on like an Excel sheet, notepad, paper, on the driveway with your chalk. I don't care. I won't judge, mostly because I won't know. Your neighbors might judge. They might be, what the heck are you doing? And that's when you tell your neighbors, check out Brianstormed's video on how to make coins in NHL 20 Hut. He mentions that I should be writing with chalk on my driveway. But compare price could be really good for a card like this Masur guy who I've never even seen before. You get to look to see all the different cards on the auction house. The other thing that I like to do that enhances my setup is to push up on the right stick on each one of these cards. By doing so, it shows their synergies, and when new cards pop up, they'll stand out because every card that you've already looked at has the synergies showing. Then you find the 2 cards closest to the 1 hour mark. Like in this case, you'll see that it's Burke and Huberdeau. And you'll know that any new cards that pop up at the 1 hour mark will show up between the 2 of them. Then you just flip back and forth between the pages until a card shows up. I got trolled thinking that this Jones was a new card. I was on the wrong page. So I'm going to do this for a bit until I get my first opportunity to make coins when this David Pastrnak shows up. My heart's beating pretty fast even though I already have so many coins, but this David Pastrnak is a good deal and I should have recognized it sooner. When it says failed to retrieve data, that means someone else bought it. Sorry. Gotta be faster next time. You'll see that whoever bought the Pastrnak ended up selling him for $13K. Notice that the guy who's selling this Pastrnak put him up for $12,900. This is a marketing trick that you should use to make your cards appear cheaper than they actually are. Screw your 50 coins. It's not that big of a deal. People are more likely to buy that card because it looks like it's 12K instead of 13K. The other note to make about this Pastrnak is it's the only one in this price range. If you know that Pastrnak is a better card than the rest of these guys, then you should automatically be buying that card without even knowing his price. It's a little bit harder to gauge when, it's an 83 overall, everyone else is an 83 overall, but if it's an 84 overall and the rest of these cards are an 83 overall, then you know you got yourself a steal. The next thing that I want to talk about is how the 1 hour mark isn't the only place where you can find cards to flip. If I take a random card here and I try to sell it, you'll notice the different auction durations that I could sell it at. At the 1 hour mark, 3 hour mark, 6 hour mark, 12 hour mark, 1 day mark, and the 3 day mark. Now I'm also going to be showing off the different cards that I ended up flipping. But those different auction house durations, you know that you won't be able to find any good deals unless it's close to that time frame. Don't even bother considering something that's like 9 hours left on the auction house timer to be a good deal. Because that's 3 hours where other people have glanced over that card and decided it wasn't a good deal. Something that you also have to bear in mind when you're flipping cards is there's a tax of 5%. That means for every 1,000, EA is going to take away 50 coins. Not a big deal for 1,000 coins, but when it's 10,000 coins, all of a sudden they're taking away 500. 100,000 coins, they're taking away 5,000. It's also seller's tax. It's only when you sell cards where EA is going to take that tax away from you, not when you buy cards. That means if you buy a card for 20K and sell it for 21K, you're not making any money. Sometimes you'll get cards that you don't have a price to compare it to. Like this Ryan O'Reilly, he was the only card on the auction house at the time. This is a bit risky, but you can set the price of this card. I buy him for 13K, and I'm going to sell him for 20K instead. With base cards, not a good idea because now there are hundreds of them. But if it's like a special edition card, like an icon card, then you can get away with that. However, if it was a new card that just got released, there's going to be more flooding the market, so don't do it then. Speaking of flooding the market, whenever Hut Champions, competitive seasons, and Squad Battle rewards come out, that's when people are going to be selling a ton of cards. Those are the times where you'll find the best steals and a lot of people making mistakes as they're selling cards. Everyone's also going to be undercutting each other, meaning they'll keep going cheaper and cheaper. So if a card is listed for 10K, someone's going to see that, they get a card, they're going to sell for 9K. Next person's going to sell for 8K, so on and so forth. So cards are going to get really cheap that way until someone decides to pretty much buy up those cards. That's a really good time to buy cards and build your team. You can also make coins in a different way in that case, where you'll buy cards and then wait a few days for card prices to either go back to normal or just be a little bit higher and then end up selling those cards. The compare price feature is neat, but I wouldn't recommend using it on the 1 hour mark cards because those cards will get scooped up instantly. At the 3 hour mark, you'll find that people are a little bit slower to pick them up, so you might actually be able to check the price of cards. Sometimes know that it's okay if you find a steal, just straight up buy the card, put it in your collection, and then check the price of it afterward. This Bergeron I know was going for much higher, close to like $25K at the time. Though if you're comparing it with today's price, it's nothing like that. And you might even say I lost money buying that card. But at the time, I made a good 15K coins. Shortly after flipping cards at the 1 hour mark, I get another Bergeron for 10K, which again sells for 25K. So I'd say it was a job well done. At this point, I'd like to introduce to you guys the HUT prices spreadsheet of NHL 20. It is not made by me. I only did it for the first year. Silly Penguin took over last year, and he's been doing an excellent job, better than me, at updating the prices of these cards. So if you want a cheat sheet, something that can kind of help you memorize the cost of cards, I'd recommend checking it out. The link is in the description. Now, I told you guys that the 1 hour mark has the most action. It's also the best time to sell your cards because it'll have the most exposure, like I said before. But if you're going to sleep, you might as well set it to 12 hours, just like I did with this John Gibson. Remember that naturally, as better cards come out, the value of your cards will deteriorate. The longer you hold on to the card, the less it's gonna be worth. That's why you want to try to get rid of your cards as fast as possible. You want to make sure that when you're selling cards, you have the lowest price available, or at least one of the lowest prices available, so that your card ends up being sold first. If people undercut you, you're gonna have to undercut them if you want to sell your card. Don't be afraid to take a loss, however, because if you're taking too long to sell a card, it may just be better to start fresh with a different card. You hold on to the card too long, you think you're going to get 20K out of him, but all of a sudden next week he's 15K, then he goes down to 10K, and yeah, that's a huge loss. And since it's tying up a lot of your coins, let's assume you only have 20K coins, because you didn't listen to me when I said don't use all of your coins on one card, and then you're going to be sad, and you're not going to be able to flip cards. And when you're sad, you know, I'm not getting into this again. But yeah, it's okay to take a loss on a card. You don't have to profit off of every card that you sell. Here's another tactic that people use to make coins. Not one of my favorites, but I decided to use it here, and it ended up working out. A lot of the filters that I've used that you've seen deal with buy now. When cards get posted, the only ones that show up are ones that you can buy instantly. In this case, we're only looking at the price range filter. And we're looking at cards that are going to expire soon to see which one of them have good deals on them. And when I'm bidding on these cards over and over again, I'm getting into a bid war. Someone wants these cards just as much as I do, and they're raising the price just as much as me. So we keep doing this until we're out of coins, or we feel like we get to a point where the price is just too high. You're not going to make that much of a profit. In this case, something different happened. There were so many cards that were being sold for a good deal. It was actually pretty hard to keep up with every card that you were bidding on. So we ended up like splitting these cards. I got 4, he got a few of them as well, and they were for really good deals. I think these cards were going for about 6K at the time, so getting 2 to 3K for them is pretty good. But yeah, so what happens in a bid war is when I'm flipping between the pages to refresh the cards, I'm going to notice that there's a triangle symbol on the top right. That means I got outbid. And when I place a bid and it says error processing bid, that means someone outbid me and I have to bid on it again. The only way to know that the auction is over is to pretty much not see that card there anymore. At that point, you have to back out and go into your active bids and see if any of your bids were unsuccessful, the auctions are still going on, or if you ended up winning any of those auctions. But yeah, it's just another way to make coins off of the auction house. You don't have to stick to the 1 hour mark or 3 hour mark or whatever. The 1 hour mark is pretty hectic. The 3 hour mark, not as hectic, but then anything beyond that, usually people aren't there. Going into my bids 1 section, you'll see I ended up winning 4 of these cards. Another option that you have is to set your filters to the point where you don't see any cards, but you still have the possibility of getting something to show up here. In this case, I'm mostly working with silver cards to also show you guys that you can flip cards with any amount of money. Actually, you probably need about 500 to start. But I set my buy now range to under 400, and then I go over to the team filter, and what I'm doing here is I'm just spamming Y and A, or triangle and X on the PlayStation, until a card pops up. Since it's the only card available, you know that this is a really good card. Plus, his name is Tim Bender, so I have to put him up for 10 million coins. No one's going to buy it for that amount, but 10 million coins usually means that someone is looking for a trade. Silver cards are also a great way of making coins in another way. With the silver restricted cards competitive season, we have cards like Joe Sakic, a 73 overall silver card, but he's going for about 8K. Someone who doesn't know who Joe Sakic is will just sell him for like 500 coins, and you can pick him up and sell him for at least 6K and make a pretty decent profit. Here's one of my subscribers, Jacob Oscarson, using that method we were just talking about, the YA method, to pick up a lot of high-end cards for a really low price. So we don't have to do it with silver cards. You can do it with gold cards. I don't know what these people are thinking, selling a Draisaitl and a Malkin for like 1,000. I guess all that's left to do is to cop-new it. Did I say that right? Or do you even understand me if I ask you if I said that right? I don't know. But yeah, that's my comprehensive video on everything that you guys need to know on making coins through the auction house. Now go out there and be like Bill Gates.
I'm a god on Xbox. Now there's no one to stop me. The world is mine.
Hopefully this video has helped you guys so you can go out there and make coins yourself. Feel free to let me know if you guys have any questions at all. I'd be happy to help you to try to make coins. Be on the lookout for some more of my videos coming out in the future where I'll go over specific ways on making coins based on new methods as I discover them.